Hi, I'm Daniel Mullen, and you're watching Purebred Reds, Adelaide United Fan TV.
G'day everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Purebred Reds, Adelaide United Fan TV. I'm today's host, Chris Adams. I'm filling in for our usual presenter, Ellis Gelios, and we are live from Melbourne. It's the biggest away trip on the calendar for United fans. It's Victory Away Day. Now, I'm joined by my two good mates, Christo Condilis, Nicola Britvic. Boys, thank you very much for joining me. Die-hard United fans here. Now, just a reminder to our viewers, feel free to leave any questions or observations in the comment section, and we'll make time to read them all out while we're going. Now, we've got a lot to cover in a very short time, many talking points, but we'll just first discuss the key details about tonight's game. Now, it's a kickoff 7:30 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. South Australia. It's being hosted at Marvel Stadium. Now, non-travelling fans can watch it on Fox Sports, the MyFootball Live app, or Kayo Sports. And now, for the travelling fans, it is the official Red Army tour of duty. So we'll be meeting at the Crafty Squire. That's the pre-game pub. It's located on Russell Street in the CBD. And we'll be marching to the game at 6:15 p.m. sharp. Now, we're going to get straight into the team news. One big in for one big out. James Troisi is named in the team sheet and has travelled. He's expected to play some sort of role, while a huge out, in-form winger Ben Halloran, who has scored his 7th league goal last week, is out with, I'm told, a hamstring injury. Now, originally in my run sheet, I wrote that Yared Abuchu and Noah Smith, two youngsters, had been named in the squad, but I've been told that they featured for the NPL side yesterday and didn't make the trip over to Melbourne. Now, Christo, you remember going back to our 3-1 win against Victory earlier in the season. Ben Halloran didn't play, but most recent time we played Victory, he did play, and he didn't just play, he scored the winner. How big an out is Ben Halloran this game?
I think having him out is gonna change how we're gonna play. You know, we scored him last time he got the winner. This time, not sure. We just got Troisi back, as you just said. He was out with a quad injury, so you know, depending on how he's played and how the team plays today, if our attack's good, we'll probably score a goal and make up for Halloran being out.
Alright, now Nick, James Troisi is back in the team. He needs no new introductions as to the quality he brings on the field. Arguably on his day, he's our best player. Now, he's missed the last 4 games, and before that he had another separate injury where he missed a few games before that. So he seems rather susceptible. He's in his sort of early 30s, and he seems rather susceptible to these sort of soft tissue injuries. This is one of the biggest games of the season. Do you throw Troisi straight into the lineup, or do you opt for a more conservative approach with future matches in mind, given how many games he's missed? I think he's only played about 10 games this season for us, and we're in round 21. So do you opt for a more conservative approach and maybe bring him on as a sub, or do you throw him straight into the mix, given that it's a big game and we're already probably going to have to change because Halloran's out?
Yeah. Well, as you said, James Troisi, absolutely phenomenal player. He's played internationally all around the world, a Socceroo. Now, obviously, he's had injury problems. So, if you ask me personally, he's a game changer of a player. But I wouldn't start him. You know, we have a ton of depth in the squad. Yeah. We could play Boland in midfield. We could play whoever realistically. You know what I mean? I'd say if we need to bring him on, we should. Yeah. But you know, we'll be conservative about it. Perhaps in the 65th minute, if we need him, you know, we'll bring him on. But I wouldn't start him. You know, we need him.
I completely agree with you there. Now, I want to just discuss our away record this season, especially our defensive record, which is sort of under the spotlight after last week's absolutely catastrophic implosion at Western Sydney away, where we lost 5-2 on the day. And what's perhaps more painful is that it wasn't really a case of which team was better or which team was worse, but it was like, okay, we were worse, Wanderers were worse, but it was like, it's just a case of which team was actually worse on the day. Now, in 9 away games, we've only won 3 of them. That's quite a poor record, and we've conceded 21 goals, which is the second worst tally in the league, only ahead of Newcastle Jets, who have conceded 22 goals this season. Now, how on earth do we rectify this stat, knowing Victory, who we'll talk about in a minute? They had the likes of Toivonen, Nabut and Rojas up forward. Now, against Wanderers, it looked like we tried to play our game, and we just got torn to pieces. And now, Wanderers played a 5 at the back formation, and we scored 2 goals, but they just played through us, really. Do we play conservatively? I'll ask you, Christo, and Nick. I'll ask you as well. Do we play conservatively, or do we just try and play our game again? Now, do we change players? Like, do we bring Kiddo in for Maria? Maria had quite a poor game. He got caught out of position a lot last week. You know, do we go for an even more radical approach of blooding youth? I know Yared Abuchu and Noah Smith, as we discussed, didn't make the trip, and they're two defenders. But what do we do here? You know, do we even swap positions on moving Maroney into centre back instead of Elsie? What do you think we should do, boys? Because it just seems like we don't have the answers away this season.
That's been the problem. You mentioned Maria having it was quite a poor game last game at left back, and you know, I'm not sure. You could move him to midfield, but you know, do you bring Dorigo out for him? You know, so it's a conundrum in terms of our team. I think we have to employ our game one way or another, but we can't be too aggressive. We will get caught out on the counter, obviously.
Yeah, we got caught out quite a lot going forward against Wanderers last week.
That Western Sydney game was terrible, honestly.
Now, Krista, we'll talk about the left back position. Maria and Kiddo, we sort of are looking at both players and thinking they're not really left backs. We've seen Kiddo. He's a left winger for a number of seasons. Even at Newcastle, he played as an attacking midfielder. Now, Kiddo was a left winger until we needed a left back last season because of injuries, and so he sort of dropped back into left back. He didn't do such a bad job. We did make the semi-final with him playing as left back, but he's been caught out, especially had an absolutely dreadful performance against Perth Glory this season, and hasn't really seen much daylight since then. Maria is, again, he's not a left back, in my opinion. I think he's been better. He played in midfield in the FFA Cup final. He's been okay as a winger, but who do you think should play in left back? Because Maria seems like I just really don't know what to expect. I'm going to ask for your opinion here.
I don't know either. Like, so Maria last game, as everyone knows, wasn't the best performance. You know, he lost the ball many times. Just the 5-2 outing from last game wasn't good. Kiddo, I'm not sure. You know, if we do, he's a left, but he's a left back. Who knows? You know, we need to find someone who can do the left back and perform.
And that was the issue that we had at the start of the season as well. We sort of wondered which left back is going to be. Are we going to bring in a proper left back? Maria was advertised as a left back, but I don't think he's really done the job that we need. Considering we had Galloway last season, who is right-footed, but he did a good job at left back. It seems like a pretty good downgrade, if I'm honest. But what do you think? I'll ask for your opinion once again. Kiddo has had problems defending, but do you bring him in?
I guess after the Maria situation, I think giving him a shot would be good. If we do give him a shot and he works out, good. If it doesn't, then I think finding a left back who could fill that spot could be good. Because Maria, that experiment hasn't gone well. We should just move on from that and just find something new or work on it with someone else.
I agree. You did well. It's a good word to describe the Maria experiment there. Now we're going to move on here. Victory have a very good record against us in Melbourne. They've won 9 of their last 11 home games against us. In the betting world, they're odds on to win tonight.
Hands down.
But you just get the impression that the way both team seasons are going, we might actually edge this game, certainly in some people's minds. Now, will the fact that they have such a good home record against us get in the minds of our players? Because, as I said, they've won 9 of the last 11 games against us. What do you think?
Well, I think obviously it will impact our players mentally somewhat, right? You know, we haven't had the best of luck here in Melbourne, but the fact that we've won our last 4 games against them now, going on to our 5th potentially if we win, I think that also will play a big part, you know, and that's what Verbeek has to reinforce to our team, you know, play on that, is the fact that in recent times we've actually had their number, you know, and if they just play as we have, you know, if we retain our composure, play our game, I think we can have a good night.
That's very, very well said. Only 7 of our 18-man squad have actually experienced a United win in Melbourne. But as I was going to say, you actually touched on it. I'm going to put the shoe on the other foot. And as you said, we've had some recent sort of domination over them.
Yes.
They haven't experienced a win over us since December of 2018. So, Christo, do you think that that's going to get in the mind of the Victory players? Because for so many years, it was a thing where they expected to be beating us. And now, all of a sudden, they haven't been beating us. So, what do you think?
Yeah, after the Mark Kurt situation where he's gone now.
Yeah.
And the last time we versed them, we won. I think this in their head is going to be either a do or die situation. Either they win or they lose. I don't know how. I can't remember when we won the season.
Yeah.
I don't think they have one.
Just to say, Victory, if they start winning now, they may be a chance for finals.
Yeah, it may be a chance, but after the situation, they've gone downhill. The coaching situation not getting any better.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, they're like almost at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's in their head that they got to win, but can they perform within their coaching situation? I don't think so. So, I think tonight's going to be a red win just overall because we've been last time. If it's the same as our home games, then I guess we just win.
Marvel Stadium. We'll talk about the stadium. We have had probably it's an absolutely horrendous record we have there.
Yes.
I actually don't know how many wins we've had, but for so many, it feels like years and years and years. Maybe a good part of a decade. We've only had one win there. Maybe in the last decade.
Yeah.
I think it is in the last 10 years. We've only won once there, and we've played quite a few times.
Yes.
Do you think that will impact the players' minds, regardless of them winning, just the stadium in general? Because you look at Anfield, for example, in England, where teams have like 20-year-long droughts.
Yeah.
Come there, even though maybe going a few years back they might have been favourites, not now.
Yes.
But the stadium for them, it's not their fortress. Amy Park's their fortress, but just in general, we have such a poor record there. What do you make of that?
Obviously, I think a stadium has a big impact on games. It's a very underrated one, if I may say so, whether a game is home or away, on the ground is played, Like, this is obviously something the Victory players will have an edge on, if it's familiar ground for them. And our players, as you said, haven't had a great record. So, I'd be lying if I said I don't think it'll have, any impact whatsoever. But I just hope our players, we can keep the form we've had against Melbourne Victory in specific. Our form lately hasn't been the best. But our last 4 games have been wins. If we can just keep that going, get a 5th, know we have their number, understand that, and I think we can still have a good night, honestly.
Of course. Now, we're actually going for an unprecedented run of history tonight.
Yes.
If we win tonight, it means we won 5 games in a row against Victory. Now, we've never actually done that in our history, so fingers crossed we get the job done. Now, before we go to your predictions, I'm just going to go over some key details for the travelling United fans tonight. It is the Red Army Tour of Duty. The official pre-game pub is the Crafty Squire. It's located on Russell Street in the CBD. Now, we'll be meeting at 3 p.m. onwards, marching to Marvel Stadium at 6:15 p.m. It's only about a 10-15 minute walk there.
Yes.
And kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Now, you get cheaper drinks if you're in red at the Crafty Squire, so I think we're going to be enjoying that one definitely.
For sure.
Now, boys, I'm going to ask for your predictions for tonight.
Yep. Well, me personally, obviously it depends how we play. One thing I didn't actually mention earlier, and I don't want to drone on, but we need to play smart. They have class players. They have the likes of Marco Rojas, they have Andrew Naboo, who actually didn't have a great game against us last time, and not a good outing, but he's still a class player nonetheless.
Agreed.
But who they will have tonight is Ola Toivonen, and he didn't play last game, but the 2 games before that he did, and he scored both times. So we really need to mark him very, aggressively. We can't give him any space to score, So if we can do that, employ our game plan and play smart, I think we can actually pull off a 3-1 victory. I really do.
Your prediction?
Yeah, I think the same thing. 3-1 would be good. More realistically, I think maybe a 2-1 or 1-0, something like that. it's Marvel Stadium don't the best track record, so hopefully we get the 3-1. But I'll be happy if we win the game, 2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah.
That'll
Well,
be good.
I'm going to be going for a 2-1 win tonight. Now, just before we finish, I'm going to read out some comments that we've got right here. So going from the start, from Jack, loving this channel, you guys are awesome. If the coach doesn't want to start Boland, why doesn't he try him at left back? Yeah, good shout, to be honest.
That's actually, yeah.
Good shout, definitely. Boland he's shown himself defensively. I think you agree.
Definitely. Oh, hands down. I think that'd be quite interesting to see. I think honestly, I do believe it could work.
If we've experimented with Kiddo playing at left back, who was a left winger before, why not play Boland there?
Yeah, that's it.
Very good shout, Jack. Now, Jason, can you let the others get a word in, please? I think I did that.
I think we had our words.
Yeah, I think we did. It's just
Cooper, did you get the celery from Coles? No, I haven't dropped in to get the celery yet.
Not yet.
But on the way over to the crafty,
I think that's all we're doing. That's on the way over.
maybe we'll pick up a bunch. Jonathan Adams, Adelaide kick ball into net.
Let's hope so, hey?
I agree.
okay,
Hopefully,
okay.
yeah. Cooper Martin, do you think Ben Halloran could change the game tonight? Well, you never know. Maybe
we'll
that
have to see. We'll have to see if he does.
he'll be there in spirit. Hopefully,
His injury will heal up before the game and he'll come on.
you never know. He might be on the plane coming over right now. And finally, from Owen, fire up. Absolutely.
Yes.
Come on, you Reds. Now, that brings us to the end of our live show. Ellis will be back tomorrow, next week, should I say, hosting. Hopefully the Reds can get the job tonight against Melbourne Victory. Christo and Nick, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
I am so excited for the tour of duty. Let's go, you Reds. Come on, boys. Thank you for watching.